whenever a coach comes on the scene, people are usually at one extreme or the other. They're either hyping this guy up to be the greatest thing since John Wooden, or they're just giving him no love at all, thinking he's just somebody that they're just throwing out there. And
Yeah.
I feel Udoka is going to be somewhere in the middle there.
Mhm.
I just think back to when Brad Stevens first took over and how, oh my God, the boy wonder is going to do great things.
Yeah.
And he did some good things, but to me, when I think about Brad Stevens, I think about like whether it's your child, whether it's your niece, your nephew, when they make that first meal and it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and everyone is like, "Damn, this is the best peanut butter and jelly
Right.
sandwich I've ever
Yeah.
had." Now that 5-year-old, 20 years later, as a 25-year-old, invites you to lunch and they make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it ain't the same.
Yeah.
They haven't stepped it up the way you would want them to. And Brad Stevens to some degree got caught in that. Even though he was doing a lot of the things early on in his career that he did near the very end, it wasn't more that people expected. And I just wonder how they're going to treat Udoka. How are they going to handle his ups and downs? Because they're going to be ups and downs this first year. What are your thoughts on how you think his first season is going to go? Is it going to be a long extended honeymoon, or is it going to be like, divorce court in a minute?
Well, I will say from a Boston sports media standpoint, even though that should not be the determining factor of.
But you about to put that in the mix. I can see that right now.
But it's a very relevant aspect when it comes to coaches that come to a city like Boston. So unfortunately, I think for him, his first season, every single game is going to get picked apart. Unfortunately, I think for him, it would be to his benefit if he's winning for a good stretch at the beginning of the season, and eventually that talk will die down, especially because they still have all the Patriots things that they're going to want to talk about. And if anything happens where it takes enough focus off of the Patriots, that's when it's bad here in Boston. But overall, I think he's going to have a good season. I'm not predicting whether or not, he's going to have a winning season, but I think the way that we've talked about the respect that players have for him, the front office really showing that trust in him to take over the franchise right now. He knows he has a standard to uphold. So I doubt that he's obviously not going to come into the job slacking, but he does seem motivated enough. And the players seem as though they respect him enough where after they figure out some kinks at the beginning, which every new season you're going to have that, I think it'll be a pretty interesting season to watch. And hopefully for him, a successful one, but I don't think it'll be a bust.
Well, I think he's going to come under a different kind of pressure than Brad Stevens did. Yeah. And there are going to be a lot of factors that come into that. But to me, the biggest factor is this. He inherited a team that has 2 all-stars who are very young. And when you look at coaches who, take over their first time being a head coach, you'd be lucky to get 1 all-star in the conversation player. So I think he's going to have to really hit the ground running to kind of keep, that heavy criticism off because that will be what a lot of folks will focus on is like, dude, you got 2 all-stars. How could you not be in the top 5, top 6 in the East? Which then I'll.
You're not in the NBA Finals.
I do. I'll have to remind folks, you do realize that there was a coach who coached him for several years who had those same 2 all-stars, actually had more than just those 2 all-stars.
Right.
And they were like 6th, 7th in the East. So let's just keep all this in perspective and understand what he's inheriting. But there's no question that he's got some talent to work with. And as a head coach, first-time head coach, that's what you want. You don't want to have to be, picking up weeds when everyone else is just mowing this nice, neatly cut grass, and you in the back just picking up weeds, thinking like, damn, I sure be glad when I can cut my grass and it can look like their grass instead of picking up all these damn weeds. He doesn't have that. Now he's got some talent issues, but he also has some talent positives when I'm talking about Jaylen Brown and Tatum.